Now at 6, local officials weigh in on the re-election of Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House. Plus,
the Cleora Public School District in Oklahoma is asking voters to approve a $6 million bond issue. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I'll explain what they hope to do with the funds.
And area businesses look to convince consumers to shop local in 2025.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The new year brings our first chance at a real winter weather threat. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. Now, this weekend looks to bring a chance of snow and maybe even ice. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy with a first look at weather.
Well, we are definitely getting lucky on this storm system because if you travel north to Kansas City, you're going to get a couple inches of sleet and a foot of snow. We aren't going to get that. I wouldn't mind that as a snow lover, but 75% of our storm system is going to be rain. About 25% of it will be wintry weather. Northern counties will take the hardest hit. So where you see here kind of in the pinkish color, that is a winter storm warning due to ice and snow. Winter weather advisory in southeastern Kansas due to lesser amounts of ice and snow. And then nothing for the rest of us. Doesn't mean that we won't get a winter weather advisory popping up on Sunday with a band of snow, but overall we're going to take a glancing blow of this storm system. All right, clouds increase as we go through the morning. Drizzle starts to pop up by tomorrow morning, late morning. Could be a little freezing drizzle in our northern counties. As we continue through the day, just gloomy, drizzle, temperatures above freezing, no worries on the roads. As we get into Saturday night, showers, thunderstorms increasing, non-severe, but look at our temps in our northern counties hanging out right around freezing. So a little freezing rain, northern counties. Here's Sunday morning, showers, rumbles of thunder continue. By 9 a.m. you can see that freezing line starting to advance a little bit farther south, and then our dry slot pops in. That's going to cut it off, and we just go to gloomy conditions, a little bit of drizzle. Little concern that could be freezing drizzle. And then by Sunday afternoon and evening, a quick band of snow is going to rotate through. Notice the temps. We're dropping back into the teens. So that does mean whatever snow falls will stick. Glaze of ice, heavier amounts, about 1/4 of an inch once you get into our northern counties. Snow, most of us 2 inches or less. Let's go Joplin north 1 to 2, Joplin south 1 inch or less. A little bit heavier in our northwestern counties. But whatever does fall will stick to the road. So we are going to have some road concerns by Sunday afternoon, Sunday night into Monday, and then also Arctic air moving in. So we're going to break it all down for you here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, local politicians weigh in on the narrow re-election of Mike Johnson to Speaker of the House. The final vote of 218 to 215 shows the slimmest margin House Republicans will have to work with in carrying out the president's agenda. Missouri District 4 Congressman Mark Alford says Speaker Johnson's unwavering faith, commitment to conservative values, and dedication to the American people make him the right leader for this critical time. Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson says, quote, "I'm hopeful that Johnson 3.0 will be a more conservative, results-oriented outcome that benefits the American people and does not frustrate Republicans," end quote. The Cleora Public School District is asking voters to approve a $6 million bond issue in an upcoming special election. The Oklahoma district says it needs to expand as its student population has grown dramatically in the past decade. KOAM's Samantha Walker sat down with the district superintendent to learn how the funds would be used.
The Cleora Public School District is award-winning, being recognized as a Blue Ribbon School in 2023.
This place is different. In lots of ways. That's so amazing.
But in the last 10 years, the number of students has grown significantly, by nearly 50% according to a growth study done by the district. As a result, class sizes have grown above the district goal, and the superintendent says they're running out of space for students, staff, and programs.
Kind of bursting at the seams, so to speak. Sometimes they're in the hallways, sometimes they're 2 or 3 groups in the library where there's 2 or 3 other things going on, and just wherever we can put them. So it's crucial that we get them the extra space that they need.
The district has worked with both a financial consulting firm and an architectural firm to propose a $6 million bond issue to voters. It's a no tax increase bond, so residents wouldn't have their taxes go up if the bond is passed.
If approved, the bond issue would allow for a nearly 10,000 square foot expansion onto this current school building and would also cover renovations of the cafeteria and gymnasium in the current facility.
Then it'll have a wing off of that that has 4 classrooms, intervention room, a bank of bathrooms, and then the bathrooms and 3 classrooms will also be a tornado shelter.
He says the district is focused on planning for the future as they expect the area to only continue to grow.
This area is growing, it's becoming an official town, businesses have moved in, and so with all of that, we've looked at that too. We have no reason to think that, that our growth is going to stop or slow down. So yes, we're looking towards the future and making sure we're ready for it.
Reporting in Delaware County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, voters will decide on the bond issue on January 14th. You can find a sample ballot and read the full proposition on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, City of Pittsburgh is the anchor for economic growth in southeast Kansas, and that's according to the Bureau of the Census. Now, the one reason given is that people are driving from all over to work there. More than 65% of the city's workforce is commuters. And that growth of people is also good for local businesses, which saw more than $4 billion in sales last year. But to keep that going, Blake Benson says it's a community effort.
When you spend it online with a company that is outside of the area, none of that money stays here. It's also important because our local city and county municipalities, that's the revenue that they need to take care of your streets, to provide emergency services like police and fire protections.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics also reports the average annual wage in the private industries in the Pittsburgh micropolitan area was just over $44,000 in 2023. According to current data. Veterinarians in Kansas warn cat owners about a rise in bird flu in the Sunflower State. Advice on how to protect your cat coming up. Plus,
AAA is alerting Kansas drivers about upcoming wintry road conditions. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I spoke to a local driving instructor about tips to stay safe.
well, some cold weather is on the horizon, which can impact road conditions. KOAM's Melissa Alexis spoke to a Pittsburgh driving instructor about what precautions to take.
If it's the ice on the road, it's a no-go.
John Barcelona is a Pittsburgh driving instructor, and with potentially icy conditions right around the corner, he wants people to be careful before they get behind the wheel.
When you come out from shopping or a ball game or whatever, they could have had the sleet come and you got your ice on your windows.
He says the reduced visibility from snow or ice can be a big hazard, and he reminds people to not rush the defrosting process.
Sometimes people come out and they throw hot water on their windshield. That's just an invite to crack windows. They'll run like crazy, they'll break, then you still can't see. Just turn your car, if your car's running, let the defrost do the work for you.
If you realize your car is stuck in the ice or snow.
A lot of people in the old days used to rock their cars back and forth, back and forth. Well, now you tear your transmissions out and you have a huge problem. Don't rock it. Everybody has a cell phone. Call and get help.
He says if the roads are icy, it's best to avoid driving if you can.
You just can't drive on it. You can't control it. Even big semis, you'll see them in the ditches. With snow, we say you drive slow. And what we mean by that, if the speed limit is, say, 40, we go half the speed. We go 20 to increase it because it takes longer to stop.
And his advice to stay warm if your car were to break down.
We tell mom and dad put a love package in the trunk with sweats, shoes, and socks. Now, if they don't know it's there, they're going to give you a big hug when you come home.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, according to the Federal Highway Administration, 24% of weather-related crashes occur on snowy, icy, or slushy pavement. Well, a little later, a cross-state battle takes place on the hardwood tonight between Pittsburgh and Webb City. John Dales has a preview and more coming up in sports.
Plus, we're going to break down the entire weekend storm system. Well, of course, not a bad Friday for us today. A little bit on the chilly side, but overall it turned out to be a pretty good day. But of course, we have bigger changes moving in as we go into the weekend. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking at downtown Joplin. Still pretty much clear skies, but these clouds will continue to increase as we go through the overnight hours tonight as our next storm system is building the western third of the country and will start to head our direction over the next 12 to 18 hours. Tonight's going to be fine, dropping back upper 20s to near 30 degrees. We start the day, cloudy skies. Through the morning, a little bit of drizzle will start to pop up. Most of it will be liquid, but our northern counties, you may get a little bit of freezing drizzle, so just watch that. As we go through the afternoon, drizzle continues. Most of us above freezing, so liquid drizzle still hanging out near freezing in our northern counties. By evening, into the overnight hours, showers and thunderstorms get going. You're going to hear some thunder, nothing strong, nothing severe. Again, look at our northern counties sitting right around 32, 33 degrees. Periods of showers through the overnight, so we're looking at 4 a.m. on Sunday. Let's continue into Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Look at this freezing line getting into Pittsburgh, Parsons. So now we're northern counties getting some light freezing rain. Here's the good news. At this point in time, the dry slop pumps in. And this is with our upper level low rotating by, so it cuts off. But we may go to freezing drizzle, and then temperatures plummet through the afternoon, and we get a quick band of snow, probably lasting 2 to 5 hours. And we'll get some accumulations. Whatever does fall will stick, because the temperatures are so cold. All right, ice potential, light glaze, northern counties, watch out, maybe upwards of 1/4 of an inch of ice, which is an issue. Snow potential, most of us 2 inches or less, 1 to 2 Joplin North, 2 to 5 Yates Center, 1 or less in our southern counties. Winter impact, snow, yeah, we're going to have an impact. Whatever does fall will stick to the roads. Whatever little glaze of ice, that's going to be an impact. Very cold, very windy, which is going to drive those wind chill factors down. So we are going to have some road impacts late Sunday, Sunday evening, Sunday night into Monday morning. And then look at the colder air behind it, really filters in, so we drop into the lower teens, near 10 degrees by Monday morning. 39 tomorrow. We'll be in the 40s Sunday morning and then plummet down to 12. So we're going to go in alert day due to light snow. And then 20s most of next week. So bitterly cold for the start of the week.
Yeah, for sure. Those low temperatures kind of scare me a little bit. Be safe. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, veterinarians in Kansas are on high alert for bird flu, which is now reported in the Sunflower State. As more reports come out, cat owners are watching closely to see if there's a risk of bird flu for their pet. If a cat gets H5N1 or bird flu, it can be deadly 75 to 100% of the time. Vets say the best way to protect your cat from the bird flu is to ensure it always stays inside instead of allowing it to travel outside and interact with birds in the area. We'll have more on this story tonight on KUAM News at 10. Still ahead, Pittsburgh High School basketball goes across state lines to face Webb City. And a Frontenac High School senior commits to play college football. John Dales has those stories and more.
High school basketball season is more than a month old here in the 4 states, and teams are starting to figure out their identity as we begin the new year. Tonight, we've got a Missouri-Kansas crossover as Pittsburgh heads across the state line to face Webb City in the Cardinal Dome. Girls game is up first, and it actually just got tipped off at the top of the hour. After the girls game gets finished, the boys are set for a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. The Purple Dragons are 2-2 so far this year. They lost to the only other Missouri team they faced. That was Joplin. Webb City is 3-2, and we'll have highlights from both games later tonight at 9 and 10. Meanwhile, some recruiting news from Southeast Kansas. Frontenac High School senior Jaden Houghton announces on Twitter that he is verbally committed to Hutchinson Community College. As a senior, he received first-team All-State honors from Keisha as a defensive lineman and from Sports in Kansas as a tight end. Houghton had 56 tackles, 5 sacks, 500 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns this past fall for the Raiders. Pittsburgh State football, 2-time captain Jack Barkley is named to the Elite 100 team, released by D2Football.com. He is the only player from Pittsburgh State to be named on the list, which recognizes 100 of the top players in the country at the Division II level. Barkley was a standout at linebacker for the past several seasons for the Gorillas, and he received multiple All-America honors in his career. Well, a Pittsburgh State football alum who both coached and played for the Gorillas is getting another opportunity to coach at the Division I FBS level. Nate Dreiling, who won a national championship with Pittsburgh State as a player in 2011, has been hired as the next defensive coordinator at Arkansas State. Now, this comes after Dreiling spent the 2024 season as interim head coach of Utah State. He got appointed to that position less than 2 months before the season started. Dreiling was Pitt State's defensive coordinator 6 years ago. Well, this Sunday, the Chiefs have their final tune-up before the playoffs as they head on the road to face the Broncos, with several starters taking this opportunity to rest. More on that in the final Minute with Mitch of the regular season.
Now that the Chiefs have captured the bye in the home field in the playoffs, there's nothing to worry about in this Week 18 game at Denver. Or is there? Think about it. Chiefs offensive stars that include Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins, Isaiah Pacheco, and Kareem Hunt, none of those guys play special teams. That means the ranks of the four-core special teams guys are very thin. Some defensive regulars must play special teams, most notably linebacker Leo Chanel, who's been a stud on base defense and is tied for the lead on special teams tackles with 7. That thin line of special teams guys may also be asked to play most of the regular plays this week. They could play up to 100 snaps against the Broncos. So keeping that special group of guys productive and healthy for the playoffs is key this week on This Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry in Joplin and Pittsburgh.
Well, yes, the Chiefs are obviously going to be resting a bunch of their starters in that game, but I'm sure the players that will be playing, they'd love to end the Broncos season, go into Denver, and get a win. So it's definitely going to be a game to watch out for on Sunday.
It's always a fun game against the Broncos.
Yeah, very much so.
For sure. All right, that's it for sports. We're back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We take a closer look at the growing cultural phenomenon of dry January. Plus, we'll have more on the narrow margin of victory for Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. And the Golden Globe Awards take place this weekend. We'll take a look at the star-studded lineup, those stories, and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's called the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Speaking of weather, final look.
Yeah, tonight's going to be fine, but as we go through Saturday, we're going to start to get drizzle increasing throughout the day. Most of us will be above freezing, so not a concern. Most of us rain tomorrow night, northern counties, freezing rain. We're going to go on alert day on Sunday. I know it says a high temp of 46. That will be in the morning. We'll drop to about 12 during the evening hours, and we are going to get some freezing rain and a light band of snow across the region. Most of us under 2 inches, but still, with temperatures getting so cold, whatever does fall and stick, it's not going anywhere for a while.
Yeah. So. Kind of curious to see what's going to happen Monday morning.
Me too.
All right, final sports note.
Well, tonight we're going to have the highlights from that basketball game, those basketball games between Webb City and Pittsburgh.
All right, sounds good. And thank you for watching. We're going to see you right back here at 10. Have a great night and an even better weekend.